All right. Since we are live, let's check it out. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Much love to the chat. Those of y'all that's in the building early. Smash the like button as you come on in. Smash the like button as you come on in. We're going to talk a little boxing in the AM. Share the video and spread the word to the ends of the earth. 78 Sports TV is live, you dig? Yes, sir. So, yeah, we got a few things to talk about, man. Hope everybody had some good rest and stuff like that, you know. For those who need to know, the Patreon videos will be dropping tonight, and I got some heat rocks. It's going to be some fire Patreon dropping tonight. You know, I didn't upload them on Sunday due to the holiday situation and ripping and running, but I'm going to upload those videos tonight on the Patreon, okay? Let me scroll up and see what we got in the building thus far. Coach 67 Sports TV, what's happening with it? Tremaine Calhoun, Southpaw Boxing 77, Miami Snoopy 305, Rick Blackwell, Malik, my brother Cadillac Red in the building, Truly Chosen, the lovely Brown Sugar, Tay in the building. Let's see here, Jeff the producer. Let's see here. My brother Main Event Mark, Black Attack, G Lex, Kai the Face Stiller, Young World, Brandon Bay, Frank from the Land, LDBC or Nothing, Daniel Mitchell, D Fresh 94, the lovely Sweet Tea in the building, SWAT Texas, salute, Dead Game Boxing, Anthony Moore, let's see, Justin Jacobs, Uncommentary, HC Boxing, Dinkin Dollars, let's see, Mahari Nation, Sports Podcast, Young Abel, W. Blake, Al Green, Johnny Q, Jay Grant Jr., B. Pauly, The Real Nice Guy, Stephen L. the Mizak in the building, Damon Buckner, All Around Strong LLC, Brian Johnson, the one-hitter quitter, Big Texas, what it do? My brother Willie Lowe, what's happening? Cano Loco in the building. Brandon Adam Perry, Carolina Slim, Big Dose 5-1 Trey. Brother Malik, what's happening? Larry Willis, Tony Yayo, Raider Time in the building. Salute to everybody in here. What's up, Stark 7? I see you in here. Fight, Sports Talk, Ty French, JC in the building, Massa Musa. Yeah. Block the dude. Block dude that's calling himself Roy Jones Jr. Block dude. I don't like people like that. Weirdos. Just pop up out of nowhere saying weird stuff. West African Judah, KO for Miles. Stedman. Mr. Sheldon. Tony Jones. Salute to everybody in the building. Smash that like button, y'all. We should have 150 likes in the building. Y'all in here, hit the like button. Let's get them on up there. Get ready to talk some boxing, man. Let's get them on up there. Yeah, Main Event. People crazy, man. People just weirdos, man. Can't help it. They can't help themselves. And this is what happens when you don't have no life. When your life revolves around other people. And you don't never go out in the world and make a mark for yourself and have people depend on you and, you know, shit like that and have responsibilities. When you got the luxury to sit in the motherfucking crib all day off of somebody else's dime, play on the fucking internet using somebody else's Wi-Fi, that's what people do. That's their life. But sooner or later they'll wake up, when they're in their 30s and realize they ain't accomplished shit in life. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done nothing. Everything that passed them by, you know, it's going to be too late. What's up, my brother Joe Townsend, always coming through representing the money and the magic. You dig? Yes, sir. Yeah, I got this crazy girl, goofy girl. She want me to come down to pick her up from Memphis or send her some money for a goddamn bus ticket to come back to Milwaukee. Like, bitch, no. You got me fucked up. You ran your ass down there with some goofy nigga, and now you don't like what you see, and you want somebody to save your motherfucking ass. You gotta learn the hard way. They ain't got nowhere to go. I'm gonna end up in the shelter. Yeah, that's life. Some people in life, sometimes in life, you only get one chance, one opportunity to shine. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be ready for it when you get the opportunity. You can't be flexing and thinking you the shit, and now you calling me, but I'm the nigga who your ass, you know, you was scared to fuck with me. You want to go fuck with the little young boy. Now you want to fuck with the young boy, and now he got you out there bad, goofy bitch. Yeah, she been calling me all morning, texting and shit. Please, I'll do anything. Please, I'll do anything. Yeah, I'll do anything you want. Nope. Can't do nothing for you, man. City Boy Kennels, what's happening with it, fam? Unless one of y'all brothers live in Memphis, y'all want to pick her up. Y'all can pick her up. She ready to go. You know what I'm saying? She desperate right now. She'll do anything. Y'all niggas, I mean, take advantage. You're going to have to get a bitch a bus ticket, though. I'll plug you in with the bitch. You know, you're going to have to give her some money for a bus ticket, but other than that, get it how you live with her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tay, that's the one I told to jump out the window. That's her. Hey, Willie, if you want her, I'll plug you for real. She fine too. She just dumb. She need a lot of education. She need a lot of schooling and shit. You know what I'm saying? She needs some learning in her. You know. Yup, you can't know anything. She ready to go. All right, so check it out. Let's go. It's gonna cook. I think I'm gonna have Stormy and Drew on when they get done. I think I'm gonna have Stormy B-Man and Drew come on here to talk, shoot the shit about some boxing. Let me see here. Salute to Polo. Salute to Polo in the Cash App. Showing love, much appreciation, man. He says Christmas was good, kinfolk. Gave up on AB. So he gave up on AB. We'll talk about it. Salute to you. Appreciate the Cash App, homie. Get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening, Bert? We should have 250 likes in the build. This is what I be saying, bro. Motherfucker be doing me dirty with the likes, man. Just hit the like button. I ain't never seen no shit like this before. This is like the easiest thing in the world to hit the like button. Nigga be like, nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna listen, but I ain't hit the like button. Hating ass niggas, man. All right, what's happening, woke? All right, so check it out. Adrian Broner, we all know the problem, has left the Premier Boxing Champions, and his contract was up. He left PBC. He went over to BLK Prime, right? And BLK Prime has given him a 3-fight deal worth a substantial amount of money. And Broner is saying now that, like, really, once he get done with these 3 fights, if he wants to, he can retire from boxing. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying that the reason why he left the PBC was a few things, right? What's up, main boxing biker? He's saying the reason he left the PBC was for a few things. One being that he was inactive in the fights. He couldn't really get. Yeah, this is live, homie. This is a live stream. So he says that the reason why, one of the reasons why he left the PBC, because of inactivity. They wasn't really getting no dates, and guys is only fighting once a year, shit like that. And he wants to be more active. You know what I'm saying? Also, he says that the PBC, for the money that he wants to make, the PBC are telling him he got to fight basically Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? He got to fight Godzilla for that kind of money, right? Then he says that the pay-per-view revenue that's shared with the fighters, you don't get that shit until, 6 months, a year later, once everything is done being counted and all this type of stuff. That's when you get your cut of the pay-per-view shares. You know what I mean? But Ed Broner is saying that what he's been promised from Black Prime is that he's been promised that he can get getting his money from the pay-per-views very quickly. What's happening, fam, in the super chat? What's that, Sir Eat 357? Appreciate the love, homie. He says salute, much love. He said salute, General, much love. I appreciate you, homie. Salute to you coming through the super chat. Hey, Drew, I sent you an email if you want, with a link if you want to hop on. Stormy too. So that's what Adrian Broner is saying, that the money in boxing is all fucked up right now. Okay. Now, there's been rumors for a long time that the PBC has been having money problems. A lot of people didn't want to talk about it because we don't know. Really, none of us really know what the fuck going on, and none of us been in no meetings with the PBC or seen no actual documentation. But the rumors have been there for a long time that the PBC has been, their money been fucked up. You know what I mean? So basically, what happens is these companies get budgets and shit, right? So we understand that, right? Like Showtime get a budget, at the beginning of the year or whatever for boxing. So let's say hypothetically, their budget is, we go use round numbers. Hypothetically, their budget is $50 million, right? $60 million or some shit. What's happening, Stormy? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's good, General? How you doing this morning, man? Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
I just
sir.
had to take that quick restroom break
Yeah, I feel you.
between shows.
Shit.
That bladder be like, okay,
Man, talk about restroom, bro. I ate a pot of beans by my goddamn self over Christmas, so you already know it was trouble in this house.
Oh, man.
Pinto beans and cornbread. Shit. But anyway, yeah, Stormy, so what we're talking about right now, smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get over 400 likes in the building, ladies and gentlemen? Can we get over 400 likes? If you're in here, you're watching, you're listening, hit the like button. It don't take no time to take your phone out your pocket and hit the thumbs up. It takes zero time. But what we're talking about today, Stormy, is the state of boxing, fighters pay, all of that. And we leading in by Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner says that the reason he left the PBC is that due to inactivity, he wasn't promised or guaranteed fight dates and stuff like that. He wants to be active. Also, for the money that he wants to make, they want him to fight killers and Godzilla type guys for the money. And he says, but then this new company, Black Prime, comes through and they tell him, well, look, you can, we'll pay you. We'll sign you to a 3-fight deal. We're gonna pay you, 8 figures. You know what I'm saying? And you can pick the guys you want to fight. So he like, it's a no-brainer to him. Like, shit, if they coming in like that, shit, I gotta take that. You know what I'm saying? So now some fans are angry that Broner left the PBC. They think it's disloyal and all that kind of stuff, right? And some people are angry that Black Prime even exists, you know what I'm saying, for whatever their reasons are. But my personal opinion is this. I've been around boxing for a long time. I've seen a lot of people come and go, right? And one thing I know is when the PBC first came, what was people saying? Some people were mad at the PBC because they accused the premier boxing champions of overpaying fighters in order to get them on their stable, right? Overpaying fighters and all this type of stuff. Then the Zone came in the game and used the PBC model, and they started paying more than PBC was paying fighters, basically to fight nobodies. Okay, and what ended up happening is the fans suffered because we didn't get a chance to see the fights we really wanted to see because these guys are making so much money fighting Joe Blows. All right, so now Black Prime is here, and Black Prime is at the forefront, and they're trying to make their name for themselves, and they putting their stamp out there. They paying fighters a lot of money, overpaying fighters. They just paid Terrence Crawford $10 million to fight. What's the boy name? David Venetian, and now they're gonna pay Adrian Broner a whole bunch of money. I don't understand why people are upset about this because we've seen this story play out before, right? We've seen this play out before. So what makes Black Prime different? Why are people upset about the shit now? What's your opinion on that, Stormy?
Well, what will happen, especially in the sport of boxing, and you just basically laid it out, is there's always going to be another company come up every few years because first and foremost, the powers that be that promote the sport have gotten so disingenuous about the presentation of their product that they forgot what's important. And that's it. That's us, the fans, the people who tune in and watch. Remember, Don King at one time kind of had a cornerstone in boxing throughout the weight classes. He had a lock on the heavyweight division with basically having all the contenders under his umbrella. But even in some of the lower weight classes, he went to the networks and made deals, and boxing was on TV. Every Saturday or Sunday, somebody fighting was in your living room. You knew these guys. You grew up watching them. There was a solid fan base. So even when they became the stars in the bigger fights, you would tune in or pay for closed circuit or pay-per-view as it turned into and things of that nature because you knew who you were watching. Now they've totally taken boxing off of TV. You don't even know who you're watching except for who they promote as the face of the sport or whatever. And sometimes, even with that being presented as it is, you're kind of stuck where they say this guy's good, or if you're a casual, you don't know. They telling you that this is the face of boxing. Let's use Canelo for example, and you watch the guy and you're like, he all right, but he really the face? There's nobody out there can whoop this dude. Well, according to the presentation, and then another company comes along and they got a guy that they want to present or whatever. They get him signed. And the whole point of it is to sell the app, the cable station or whatever who's going to show these presentations, championship fights. Well, do people really realize what was really the most important thing before the championship fights? It was like the fighters who came up through the ranks, the fights that made them who they were, the tough and grizzled guys. See, they left out the most important part. It's the journey. The champions will be who they are until somebody knock them off their perch, right? But what about the men who transition to be in contention for the champion? And so when you see something like BLK Prime, they're doing exactly what the others before, the Zone and then PBC, they're doing the same thing. It's just that the people have gotten to be to a point, and social media has grown, that everybody got a voice now. Everybody, they got cancel culture out here. They got all of this stuff where, my opinion matters. Not really. Your dollar matters, but not necessarily your opinion. So it's like we're in this situation where people get in their feelings about I just want to see quality fights because I came up when that's what I was accustomed to. You know, you can water things down as much as you want and make people think that you're watching something of quality, but you've been around long enough to know, and I've been around long enough to know that when you see real quality fights, it doesn't have to have a belt around one's waist. You know, you're just seeing boxing, but you might as well be watching the WWE or something like that because everybody got a belt over their shoulder. I was watching the fight just a few weeks ago, and the whole card, I think that was the ESPN card, every fight, the undercard, all the young guys, prospects, everybody had a damn belt over their shoulder. I'm like, he's not even a championship fighter. He's got a belt thrown over his shoulder. What the hell are we watching here?
Mhm.
You know? So yeah, it's a consistent thing. But I'm gonna tell you, my personal opinion, one of these companies, I don't care if it's Black Prime, I don't care if it's somebody that's coming after them, they need to get smart and take it back to network television.
Yeah.
Do what you can to put boxing back on network television. If you put it back on network television and give them a constant diet of fights that you don't know going in, who gonna win and who gonna lose, don't have nothing to do with a damn championship. Let people grow and see these. Oh, I like that guy, because you're gonna like who you're gonna like. Can't
Right.
nobody force and impose that on you. But if you're giving me that and it's quality, knockdown, dragouts, this guy could be favored, but that guy wins and upsets and stuff, people will be tuning in.
Facts.
Remember, Tuesday night fights, that's where we learned a lot of people were. Friday night fights, ESPN used to have something on a regular basis. All of that stuff has gone away. But when I did a show recently on my Tuesday Tussle, I called it Back to the Basics. This is what they need to do. Get back to the basics. If you can get that TV audience back involved, dude, you can thrive. You can. Now, what do you think about that?
I agree. I definitely agree. That's when boxing was at its peak when it was on network television. You know, for a minute the PBC was doing that for a minute.
Yep.
And they lost their contracts with them because they was scamming the people. To be honest with you, they were scamming the networks, giving them trash fights. And the networks is like, man, like, you know, we want to see some fucking fights. You know, put some good fights on. And the PBC was playing different networks against each other. Like, okay, we got to deal with Fox. We got to deal with motherfucking CBS or whoever. And we got to deal with Showtime. So we're going to give Showtime these main event cards, these real good ones. And we're going to give this person the motherfucking, we're going to give CBS this okay card. And we're going to give Fox this trash card. And then they tried to rotate it. It was fun while it lasted, but the problem is you fucking up your relationships with these people. You fucking up your relationships with these networks when you do shit like that. So now, you know my brother, Stormy, my brother called me, right? My little brother, he called me, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And he says, he just checking in on me, you know, shooting the shit. So he asked me about boxing. He's like, man, I didn't even know that Deontay Wilder came back already. I said, yeah, man. Wilder fought Robert Helenius. Because I didn't know that. I didn't know he came back yet. You know what I mean? I remember you said he was going down to a training camp, but I forgot. I didn't know when the fight was coming on. Because he's like a super casual fan. He don't really follow boxing that much. But this is what he told me yesterday. He says, but hey, when is somebody gonna fight the champion though? I said, well, you know, Fury and Usyk supposed to be fighting, but I don't know what's gonna happen with that. He said, but yeah, why didn't you fight the champion, Frank Sanchez? I said, what? What are you talking about? He said, yeah, Frank Sanchez. He's a black guy, but he's like Cuban or something. I said, dude, that dude ain't no champion. He said, yeah, I saw him with a belt. He had a belt. I said, that don't mean shit, man. This is a scam. They got all kinds. I had to break all this shit down to him about the fake ass belts. He was so mad, but the way I broke it down to him was like, because my brother is a big wrestling fan. So I said, look, It's just like how we used to watch wrestling. They had the TV champion, the Intercontinental champion, the world champion, the tag team champion, the people's champion. They got all this stupid shit. I said, that's how it is. The only champion that really matters is the world champion. The rest of that shit is bullshit. You know what I mean? So he was mad as fuck. He was mad. He was watching Frank Sanchez, and he like, I like this guy. You know, he got a belt. Yeah, I want to see Wilder fight Frank Sanchez. Like, bro, Frank Sanchez ain't got no fucking belt. That's some bull. I don't know what belt he supposed to have. What belt does Frank Sanchez supposed to have? Some continental Cuban belt or some shit? It's ridiculous. So that's the problem with boxing, and that's why so many boxing fans have left the sport. In my opinion, it's too hard to follow now. It's like, have you ever started watching a show, or you started watching a TV series, and you watching it, you watch the first season, you hooked on it. Oh, this the shit. You watch the second season. Oh, this my shit. Then something happened, work, life, whatever, get in the way, and you can't watch the third season. You keep telling yourself, I'm going to watch the third season, right? Then you miss the fourth season. You missed the fifth season. So now when you're ready to watch it again, you turn on the TV, it's on the sixth season. Only 2 people look familiar to you. And you're like, well, wait a minute. What the fuck are you talking
What
about?
happened? Yep.
Yeah, what happened? What, no, hold on. I missed something. So now you like, man, I got to go back and watch all this shit. I got to binge watch this shit. Now, the good thing about TV series is you can actually go back and catch up.
Right.
With boxing, it's so many how can you do it? How can you possibly catch up? You got to start fresh and just like do your best to watch some fights from the past. But, bro, it's so much politics, who duck who. These people don't know what the fuck going on in boxing, man.
And the other thing about this 78 is too important that people need to realize. The networks have bought into the bullshit narrative that they have to sell championship fights. So they stagnate guys' careers because they try to match them up in fights that can feature them, maybe string their, title reigns longer and stuff like that. And so people who really deserve a shot don't get the shot because they're a threat to, because that's the guy that's got the contract with the network and things like that. That's why they need to stop selling championship fights and just put on boxing. Do you remember when Showtime was called the network of upsets? Remember?
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter who fought on Showtime. It was like you're going to see somebody get beat that you knew was the champ. Tommy Hearns got upset by Iran Barkley. Tommy Morrison was getting upset by Michael Bent and stuff like that. It's like
that's back when Showtime had fight Dr. Freddie Pacheco and Bobby Ches.
Right. And it was like it was happening all the time. Hell, when Evander Holyfield upset Mike Tyson because they thought that he was going to lose to Mike Tyson. It was like that goes back to that era. But the whole point of it is if you put on quality fights, the people will be there, man. They don't care about the belts. They care about the fighters. When I recently did a turning the page in boxing history 2 weeks ago, talked about Michael Spinks and Dwight Muhammad Cowie. Dwight Muhammad Cowie came out of Rahway prison, bro. They was showing his fights when he was in prison.
Right.
But it was on network TV. Two of the things that was exciting about that was he was a badass fighter from the penitentiary, and they actually brought television crews and everything to feature this guy because he was so good from prison. And then when he got out and he was sweeping through the light heavyweight division and everything, and then you had Spinks from the famous Spinks brothers who had gold medals from the Olympics and everything. That was a tremendous build-up for a super fight for them, for unification. Right. Spinks had the WBA, Cowie had the WBC. And those two came together. It was a big fight, but it was not because a guy just had a championship belt. It was because the people who knew who they were because they were on TV. Right. That's what was selling. Every once in a while, you'll get a charismatic charismatic fighter who can drive the sport like a Ali or a Ray Leonard or whatever. But in the meantime, you had the workhorses like a Marvin Hagler or Tommy Hearns or even what's the kid that died in the car accident? Salvador Sanchez. You know, you had guys who were holding the line in the sport because they were so damn good, but they were on your television and you knew who they were.
Right, right.
And it didn't matter that they were Hispanic or they were Cuban or they were, you know, from Africa or what. It was just, oh, that's a damn good fighter. Let me tune in and see who he's fighting this weekend. That's what it was.
Hell yeah.
And they've gotten so far away from that it's really, do you know that you could go through the weight classes of the fighters of today and you can pick maybe one guy or another guy to be a real champion, and everyone outside of that person is a contender. But you got all these belts out here and the network's trying to pass these guys off as world champions, but they're not fighting each other, and they don't want you to have undisputed. We got a couple of undisputed champions right now, Devin and Jamel, and they don't even want that because they want to be able to put on those 5 belts. That's 5 championship fights that they could put on with a champion against mediocre opposition that he'll beat up and knock out on their network. That's what they want, or on their app, instead of a quality fighter facing quality opposition. And guess what? When you have fights like that, they might have 2, if not a trilogy, because it's a damn good battle. And that guy, his competitive nature and spirit says, you know what? He got me that go round. I just had a bad night, but I want him back. And so he gets back in there, and then they have a tug of war, and it's a back and forth, and it's like, oh, and now you got a trilogy, and it becomes historical. It becomes legacy laden because these men were put in a position where they had to fight for something that they believe in and had conviction. It's not, that doesn't come into play with all these belts that a guy says, well, I'm just going to wait until he moves up to the next weight class and I'll fight for the vacated title. You see what I'm saying? It's like you actually diminishing the guy's incentive to be the best. That's what Canelo did. He went around and picked up belts that guys left and vacated for moving up or being stripped or whatever, and he started gathering these titles like that instead of fighting the best men that were available to him. And anytime he got close to him, where there was a really good fighter, he's making a move and going somewhere else. Well, I'm going to go up a couple of divisions and fight a guy up there that nobody knows, and I'm going to take his belt and stuff. It's like, that's foolishness.
Right.
And you want us to think that he's one of the best in the sport. Man, I was so angry with that fight he had when he came out and they were trying to compare him to Henry Armstrong.
Oh, my God. I remember.
I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. He is nowhere near Henry Armstrong, who fought in an era with one champion and he had titles in multiple divisions. That means he was a pretty bad MF.
Should have had titles in 4 divisions.
Yes. And the thing is, it's like they trying to align this man's name with someone who's actually great. And not to get too far off of that, why every time they want to try to say somebody great, you trying to compare him to somebody who black? Find your own fighter that's great and compare him to that. Because if the black fighter ain't to be respected by you, PTP, then why are you trying to take these guys who are numbskulls and nincompoops, and you trying to compare them to what was truly great? Huh? If they weren't worth your acknowledgement, all of a sudden now they are, because you're trying to find a plateau to put a guy that you're promoting on. No, that's foolishness. And I'm here to tell you it's foolishness, because you cannot take someone like that and give him glory comparing them to someone who deserved glory, but you didn't acknowledge that fighter until now, where you want to say, well, no, don't fly. But put them all back on regular TV, and you'll be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. Simple as that.
Yes, sir. Let me read these super chats. First, salute to my brother D McGee in the Cash App, showing love. Appreciate the love, brother D McGee. Salute to D Man Jr. in the super chat, showing love, coming through with the 5-piece chicken nugget. He says, salute to my brother 78 and Stormy B Man. Yes, sir. Salute to Gregory in the super chat, coming through with the 10-piece chicken nugget. He says, General, just want to say great interview with Kid Austin. He wants all the smoke. Yeah, salute, man. Appreciate the love. Yeah, Kid Austin is I like fighters that want to fight the best, you know what I mean? They want to prove themselves. That's all I got energy for. I really ain't got energy for the other shit no more. It's just ridiculous. Let's see what we got here. Fight Sports Talk in the super chat. Appreciate the love. Coming through with the 10-piece. He says, when promoters downplay most fighters, they don't sign casual fans. He said they don't sign casual fans will never know who the best are. In no other sport are the best disrespected by the people who put on the events. Only combat sports. Salute, homie. We got 88 Sports Talk in the super chat. Appreciate the love. He says the regular TV fights was the shit. That's how I discovered Sean Porter and Timothy Bradley and Keith Thurman, Andre Berto, Victor Ortiz, Manuel Marquez. Yeah, absolutely, man. The regular TV fights is ones that really help to solidify and put boxing on the map and keep it there. Anwar Willis, salute to your fam. He says, salute to the General, the Stormy, and the chat. Appreciate the love, Anwar Willis.
Salute.
All right. I think I got everybody. So, yeah, man. I'm just looking at this situation like, look, man, boxing can't get right. We have been through so much shit in boxing as fans. We've tolerated this shit. We've stuck around. And boxing is slowly turning me into a casual. I'm telling you. Because I'm not even interested in boxing the way I used to be. Like, I used to watch all the fights, even these bum-ass fights that used to be on Telemundo and shit. I don't watch that shit no more. I be sitting back waiting because I don't trust these dudes. I'm like, man, these dudes are all full of shit, man. They all talk a good game. As soon as they got something to lose, then they scared to lose, and they don't want to fight nobody. And it's depressing, man. When you look at the money, these guys is out here flexing, right? This is how bad it's gotten. Guys is out here flexing and bragging about making $4 million, $5 million for a fight. And they poking their chest out, right? And we in 2022, finna be 2023. But it was a time when in the 80s, Sugar Ray Leonard was making $15, $20 million in fights. And that in today's money, that's like what, $30 million?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are y'all really bragging about? Y'all standards have dropped so low that you flexing. You just happy you can get like I say, a Cutlass Supreme. A lot of these guys want a Cutlass Supreme, man. They want a beach house, a little high-rise apartment. They want to be able to fuck on some bitches and shit like that, show their money off. But they ain't trying to prove they the best, and it bothers me that this is what boxing has come to. But let's talk about Adrian Broner, man. Adrian Broner is fighting Ivan Redcash, or whatever his name is. Redcash, that dude. He fight him in February in Atlanta. So shout out to Black Prime for taking that fight to a black market. That's a smart move. But do you think Adrian Broner is done, or does he still have enough to beat guys like Ivan Redcash?
The funny part about that is he should beat Ivan Redcash. But the mere fact that we're posing a question of, do you think, you know what I mean? It says a lot about how far from grace he has fallen. And the thing about it, how about this? Didn't Red Cash get suspended for biting somebody or something?
Right.
Wasn't that what was going on with him? So I mean, this is what we've been reduced to. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you've seen Broner at some of these public appearances, that little pot belly on him and everything, that he looking like somebody's, grandpa or something like that. Hell, I'm a grandpa, but my belly don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'd be hard pressed to have any belief in him. I heard you say, this was well over a year ago, if not almost 2 years ago, where you said, man, you know what, as far as AB, I'm done. Because it's like he's had chance after chance after chance to get it right. And his decision has always been to not get it right. So, as the great Maya Angelou once stated, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, do I want to see him do bad? No, I don't. I wish him all the best in the world. But do I have confidence in he resurrecting and doing something better or whatever? I really don't. It's possible because people can, he could go in there and hit the guy luckily and knock him out. Or I don't know. But the thing about it is, I'd really like to focus on some of these other fighters who are up and coming, younger, fresher, and that have a future ahead of them, because he's blown opportunities. We've seen it in other sports where you've had a guy, man, he's great. He just can't get his stuff together. He's always in trouble with the law. He's always getting arrested. It's like we've seen this. So why do we give that stuff so much attention when if you hold people accountable, they'll look around and wake up one day and say, oh, nobody's looking at me no more. Oh, nobody's talking about me. Let me get my stuff together. You see? But as long as they know that somebody got a camera and a mic and put it in their face and be like, well, are you going to let your hands go this time? Man, F you, and you ain't with me, and you on that. Well, if we turn the camera off of you and take the microphones away, there's no dividends for you. There's no gameplay. So now you'll have to either get your stuff together or you go on and fade off into the sunset.
Right.
And that's the way I see someone like him at this time. But it's not just him. It's a few others in the sport like that. And if we profess to love the sport, we have to love the sport, not the detractors of the sport. This coming Friday, I'm going to do my Friday night chop session. And I have my year of the year awards, end of the year awards and stuff like that. And my fighter of the year and my fight of the year is going to surprise a lot of people, because I've decided to do something different in my approach to that. And I'm going to stand on it. And it's sending a message to everybody out there that think they know. You don't know a damn thing. You need to focus on the right things and not the improper things. And that's what I'm going to stand on going forward. 2023, I'm going to bust it wide open. But this whole thing, I'm sick of these half-assers and the guys who are stealing checks, because that's what they're doing, stealing checks. But you heard me put it out there today on your show that these guys need to get back on network TV, because that's where it is. And that's where they could really build support and fan base. And if you really want to make some money, get your ass back on regular TV and watch what happens. 78 just laid it out for you guys. When you talk about TV series, and you can go back and you can watch and binge watch and stuff. It's like, because it's right there. It's playing in your house. Fighters need to understand that that's how it's going to work for them. I need to be in your living room, man. Watch me whoop these dudes' butt. I'm going to whoop them all. They in the top 10. I'm fighting all of them. Starting from number 8 going up or starting from number 2 going down. I'm going to whoop them all. It ain't about the championship belts, because they got 20 of them out there. But let me pick these guys off in the rankings. Let me whoop their butts. and become a household name in your home. Huh? And that's how it will work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Stormy, hey, I'm gonna ask you this too before we go back to boxing. You still doing your kung fu joints?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got another one that's coming pretty soon. I think I'm gonna do the 36 chambers of Shaolin.
Okay. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Gordon Liu, the master killer.
Man, Gordon Liu was a motherfucker, wasn't he?
Man, that was my man. That was my man. That you know what was so interesting and good about Gordon Liu, man? He looked like Yul Brynner, but he was Chinese, right? And
Yeah.
it was just funny, but it's like that's what we used to call him, the Chinese Yul Brynner when I was growing up. It was like that's that dude that looked like Yul Brynner, you know. And he always playing the monks.
I want to hop on a show with you when you do.
Sure.
I want to break down this man right here, Pai Mei the Priest.
Pai Mei. Okay, we could do that. Hey, how about this then? I can put the 36 chambers on hold for a minute, and then we could do Fist of the White Lotus and talk about this guy.
Man, let's do it.
Yeah.
They had the execution of the Shaolin.
Yep.
They had
Fist of the White Lotus. And then there was another one.
Well, you know they had Kill Bill too with Pai Mei on there.
Right.
Years later.
Yeah. So yeah, we could do that. You want to do it this Thursday? Because I don't have anything lined up in my time.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, this Thursday, 8 p.m. Let's focus on Kung Fu Film Focus, Pai Mei. Yeah,
Pai Mei.
The films that he appeared in. Yeah, that sounds great, man.
Pai Mei was that dude, man. That was my favorite Kung Fu character ever.
Yeah.
But what's happening with it? I am Trill Will. I see you in the building, homie. Salute to everybody in the building. Can we get 600 likes in the building, y'all? Do we got 600 likes? Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the likes all the way up.
Yeah, that's the best.
So now, to go back to boxing, what do you feel if you had a magic wand, right, and you can wave that motherfucker, what would you immediately fix about the state of boxing? Just give me a few things. It ain't got to be a certain number, but a few things you would fix about boxing to clean it up.
One of the things that I would like to do right off the bat, and it's easy to say this, but we got to do away with all the belts, man. We got to get back to one champion. And what that will create and stimulate is more fights, because contenders won't be able to sit around and wait to pick up additional titles and everything and throw them over their shoulders after every fight, talking about I'm a champ. We got to get away from that. Another thing that will do is it will open up competitive market for fights, because if there are five belts, we take away the two. There's only two undisputed champs, right? Or is it three? We got Mel and we got Devin, right?
Mel, Devin, and I think, yeah, that's it right now.
Okay, so in men's boxing, you got two undisputed champions, Mel and Devin. So they both have 5 belts. Think about it like this. What if Mel and Devin were the champions of their divisions and those other 5 belts were obsolete? Now you're looking at, that's 4 contenders that could be fighting, not just each other, but getting themselves in line for the title shot against the champion. So that's creating more fights right there. So we have to align these things of how they go. Secondly, what that would lead to is fighters fighting more frequently. You don't have to sit around and wait a year for a mandatory when guys are facing each other. So the champion would be more inclined to fight. He can fight voluntary defenses, or he can fight the next contender that's up. And you don't have to wait a year for it, because if the guy who's ranked number 1 behind the champ has just knocked off the number 5 guy, Well, guess what? The champ can fight him, and then the guy that's number 4 or number 3 could be the next man up, or the guy that's number 2 can fight the number 3 or number 1 or whatever. You can stimulate more fights out of that. Then next, what you could do is start a world tour of fighters. Don't just fight in the US. Go over and face somebody in Ireland. Go over and face somebody in the UK. Go over and face somebody in Nigeria. Go over. World championship fights should be fought. San Juan, Puerto Rico. We used to see in the early 70s, they was always fighting in the exotic places of the world, weren't they? The champions. Right. They went on a world trek. That's how you get that notoriety. Fight off the map. You go around the world, let people see who you are. And traveling could be beneficial for you. You can learn the world. You learn more. Oh, this is different from growing up in the DMV. Huh? I'm over here facing a dude in Puerto Rico or in Mexico or something like that. It's like there are so many things that could be done to stimulate the market of boxing. And when you do travel like that, your fan base increases, especially if you're good. Because when you're just fighting domestically, people will say, well, yeah, I wonder how good is he really? But you come over and you're facing somebody in South America or whatever, those people over there, they're looking at you and they're like, wow, he's really cool. It's like Devin. He picked up a ton of fans when he went over to Australia.
Right.
He did. And he became like a goodwill ambassador for them. Now them people, they on his jock, and whenever he fight, they going to be supporting him. So right. It's like it opens up things for you. So those are just a few of the things that I look at when you're talking about boxing and how it can be done and made better. And guess what? Boxing is the one sport that the other sports can't compete in that aspect, being global. We know that the NFL is popular globally, the NBA is popular globally, but it ain't like those guys can go every game and fight in another country or play in another country, right? They can have an annual thing. Oh, we're going to have this year's NFL game in the UK, or we're going to have this NBA game in China or whatever. But no, fighters can travel each and every fight. One of the things I loved about Ali is that's what he began to do when he became the world champion. He started fighting all over the world.
Right.
And people love to hate him. People love to support him. And he just became a world champion from that point. These guys, believe me, the blueprint, the green print, whatever print you want to call it, it's out there. It's just that nobody's acknowledging it. Nobody's utilizing it. It don't take rocket science, and you're not going to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. Use it and roll your ass on down the path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Salute to Rod Holman in the super chat. Appreciate the love. He says, less belts, better fights. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's happening, Bert? Salute to you. What's happening, Shade Girl 85? I see you in the building. Everybody that came through, salute to y'all. Smash the like button, get the likes all the way up, y'all. Me, I've been saying for years, man, because I agree with you on the belts. There's too many belts in boxing. That shit need to be. But, the thing is this. I would like to see, like they have in the Olympics. In the Olympics, every 4 years, I would like to see every 4 years boxing have an undisputed tournament in every division, where the top-ranked guys, it could be a Super 6, whatever. You take the top-ranked 6 fighters in every division, every weight class, make them fight. They can't pick and choose. It's a draw on who you fight in the first round, whatever the fuck. And if you don't participate, you get stripped of your belt. If you're a champion and you decide not to fight in that tournament for whatever political or bullshit reason, you stripped and that belt goes to the other person who's next in line, in my opinion, or that belt is up for grabs for whoever's in the tournament. I think that's what should happen. If you did that every 4 years, that will keep guys on their P's and Q's, and it'd be a lot less guys getting into the sport of boxing who just want to come in here and pillage off some money real quick,
Right.
Scam motherfuckers when they know they got to prove themselves, yeah. So that gives you, if every 4 years you got to participate in a tournament, and let's say this tournament takes 2 years to complete, now you have 2 years to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You can fight all your money fights and all I'm gonna fight Canelo because he's a draw. You got 2 years to do all of that shit. But then your ass gotta get right back on the shit and prove yourself again. That's how I think this shit should happen, man. If they do that, I think boxing will be better off. But right now,
and let me add something to that. How about this? Not only that, because that's a great idea, but the winner gets the contract with the network.
That'd be dope.
Incentive laden, right? Like a motherfucker. Because it's like, if you know that you just won that tournament, you get the contract with, if it's Showtime or whatever, and you're that network's champion, whichever weight class you're in. So it's like the champions fight on the network and everybody else is on network TV. How about that?
Right. That's a fact.
Because you give them incentive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's where you could get the real pot of gold. Because then the networks can afford to pay you those extra dollars because that's an exclusive audience, pay-per-view, things of that nature. So now you've stirred that pot of incentive. Now you got guys looking at each other like, you know what? I'm going for mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm telling you, there are ways to do this, but that's a great idea. Every 4 years to come together, it's almost like graduating, university.
Absolutely. And I've been saying that for years, man. That's when I seen the Super 6 tournament at 168 a few years back, where Andre Ward won that. I thought that was a great situation. And of course, Lucien bum-ass Butte decided not to participate. And he ended up getting his ass whooped later by Carl Froch. But Andre Ward won that tournament, and I thought that was a great idea because you forcing people who can't pick and choose who they're gonna fight. It's a luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? They pull, names out the hat. This person fighting this person next. Like a tournament, a real tournament. And that's how it should be. And it would be more easy to follow for boxing fans. It would be more exciting for boxing fans. It would be more exciting in general. I think that would bring attention back to the sport. If you make it like other sports. Basketball, we know, okay, at some point, the Milwaukee Bucks is going to play every team in the East 4 times this regular season. They're going to play every team in the West 2 times. And in the playoffs, the best going to play the best. We understand this. So in boxing, why is it different? In baseball, we know what's going to happen. Football, we know what's going to happen. But in boxing, in combat sports, it's like this weird shit where a motherfucker get to pick and choose and cherry pick and bounce around on who they're going to fight and who they're not going to fight. I ain't got time for that dumb shit no more. I really don't. I'm tired of it. And it's a turn off to the sport. You know what I mean? Stark7, salute to you in the super chat, homie. He says, biggest problem, exclusive TV deals for fighters. Well, I don't know if that's the biggest problem. That is a problem. But I don't know if that's the major problem because, like I said, these guys nowadays are happy just to get a couple of $1 million and they acting like they the king of the hill and they still ain't making the money that fighters was making in the motherfucking 80s. But, that's when boxing was at its peak. Nowadays, dudes is happy to make $3, $4, $5 million and they run around talking shit and flexing on each other. But like, bro, you still ain't made the money Sugar Ray Leonard made. You still ain't made the money Thomas Hearns made. And this was fucking 30 years ago. And you still bragging about some shit like you cold like that. It's pathetic. It really is. But anyway, Stormy, man, tell the people where they can find you, homie.
Oh man, everybody can find me right out here on YouTube, man. The channel is Stormy B Man. I'll put the link in the chat for you guys. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, we got on my channel, we got the on Monday nights we got Nerds on Culture, Drew Titan and myself. On Tuesday nights we got the Tuesday Tussle. On Thursday nights I have a live stream, and this Thursday 78 I'm gonna do a Kung Fu film focus featuring Pai Mei. Then on Fridays I got the Friday night chop session. And on Saturdays, it's the post-fight show typically whenever we have the fight cards. So Sunday mornings, I got the call-in show. So I'm working the grind myself. It's like,
Yes,
but
sir.
a lot going on over there. Come on over there and get you some great content and great boxing talk and a little bit of something else. So that's what's happening. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Much love to the chat. Super chat and everybody came through showing love today. I want to thank my brother Stormy B Man for joining me today. And make sure y'all stay tuned for on Thursday on Stormy B Man's channel. His link to his channel is in the description. Well, it's in the chat right now. Make sure y'all go click on that, subscribe to Stormy. I'm gonna be over there. We're gonna talk some Kung Fu flicks. We're gonna talk about Pai Mei the Priest. You did.
Yeah. And thank you for having me on this morning too as well, brother. Thank you
Yes, sir,
for
brother. It's all
allowing me.
love. We'll
Yes,
get with
sir.
y'all in a minute, man. Make sure y'all go tune in to KQKC Boxing coming up next. We up out of here though. Deuces.
Peace.